Welcome everybody to another look at a Masters of Cinema series of film from Eureka, and it is 1978's Shogun's Samurai. So this is also known in Japan as the Yagyu clan conspiracy. And yeah, directed by Kinji Fukasaku, who I've seen 17 other films from so far. Same year as this was also released was the Fall of Aiko Castle, but he also did the really fantastic films like Sympathy for the Underdog, Yakuza Graveyard, Legend of the Eight Samurai, and Japan Organized Crime Boss. So this is a historical period drama, clocking in at 130 minutes long. Stars Kinosuke Nakamura, who was also in The Fall of Aiko Castle, but who was also fantastic in the likes of Revenge and Tokijiro Lone Yakuza. Also stars Shinichi Chiba, also known as Sonny Chiba, who I've seen in 16 other films. He had the same role in this as the unrelated Samurai Reincarnation, released 3 years later, also directed by Fukasaku. He was also in The Fall of Aiko Castle, as well as The Legend of the Eight Samurai, Message from Space, and Hokuriku Proxy War. So, yeah, he's worked with Fukasaku many more times than just besides those. Also stars Hiroki Matsukata, who was in Doberman Cop, another Fukasaku film, as well as Torihiko Saigo, who's also in The Fall of Aiko Castle, and finally Toshiro Mifune in a small supporting role. He was in 18 other films that I've seen so far, and we've talked about him extensively this year, as obviously he's star of several of the Akira Kurosawa films that have been released on either 4K or Blu-ray by BFI. So, yeah, all-time star cast, quite frankly. And yeah, following the death of the second Tokugawa Shogun, it is revealed that he was poisoned by retainers of his son Iemitsu in hopes of gaining him the shogunate, despite the stammer and birthmark which undermine his respect. Iemitsu and his brother Tadanaga become bitter rivals for the shogunate, and the land is split into factions, eventually erupting into warfare. Iemitsu's mentor, his fencing instructor Yagyu, is fixated upon securing Iemitsu's the shogunate and ends up betraying everyone, even his own family, in pursuit of that goal. So this is another excellent effort from Kinji Fukasaku, which is despite this being rather similar to the same year release of The Fall of Aiko Castle. Now, sure, this isn't quite as incredible as that effort, which still stands as my favourite Fukasaku film that I've seen so far, but this does come mighty close. This is thanks to the great cast, superb period production, a thoroughly engaging plot that is intricate without being confusing. The lead characters are well realised, cinematography is on point, the score is good, the pacing is solid, it really doesn't feel it's 2 hours and 10-minute length. The action scenes are violent and well executed. There's a particular scene in this where a whole group, a clan basically, are getting slaughtered, men, women, and children, all getting killed relentlessly and mercilessly. And that really reminded me of the film Soldier Blue, released in the prior decade. And yeah, it's suitably violent and quite heartbreaking, to be honest, to witness. The ending is also highly satisfying, and despite an initial barrage of characters being introduced, they're never easily confused with one another. So overall, a 4.5 out of 5. Like I said, not quite as good as The Fall of Aiko Castle, which came out in 2023, also via the Masters of Cinema line from Eureka, uh, as I gave that 5 out of 5. Still my favourite Fukasaku film, like I said, but this does come mighty close at 4.5 out of 5. I think the only real issue is I think that the extra length that The Fall of Aiko Castle had gave it a little bit more breathing room with all of these characters and such, as that film was, I think it was 160 minutes, 159. So yeah, 29 minutes longer than this. I think it used that time that little bit more effectively to let elements breathe a bit, let characters breathe a bit more. While this, even though it doesn't feel rushed, there are definitely elements that I would have liked to have seen expanded a little bit more. But still, excellent effort overall, and yeah, certainly out of the two Masters of Cinema films that have been released this week, the better of the two, as it is far better than the likes of Rio Lobo. So, yeah, we have this limited edition old card slipcase, which features new artwork by John Dunn. Really, really like the artwork. And then we have the original, or what looks like perhaps maybe the original artwork on the sleeve. And then we have the disc. And we also have a booklet with this release as well. So there is Kinosuke Nakamura in the leading role. And inside the booklet, you get your cast and your crew, as well as pictures of the film throughout. And then you have notes on Shogun Samurai by Jonathan Clements. And like I said, shots from the film throughout and such. So yeah, not in black and white though, even though, like with Rio Lobo, there are a lot of images in this that are shown in black and white for whatever reason. It's one of the several action scenes that are in the film. And yeah, this film is presented in the 2:35:1 aspect ratio, so adjust your screen accordingly. It should look like that. And yeah, in terms of on the disc itself, we have a 1080p HD presentation from a 4K restoration by Toei. The restoration on this looks far better than what we had with Rio Lobo. It looks like genuine effort has been put in, whereas with Rio Lobo, like I said in that review, there were flickers here and there, white spots and such that were showing up, whereas nothing of such is in this one. It looks absolutely superb. It's also got the uncompressed original Japanese mono audio, which again sounds great, as well as optional English subtitles, newly revised for this release. Then we have Echoes of the Present, Kinji Fukasaku's Jideke cinema. So Jidekeki, even I'm hope I'm saying that right. That basically means period drama. So yeah. New video essay by Japanese cinema expert Joe Hickenbottom. Then you have the original theatrical trailers as well, which includes about talking about filming getting underway and such. So yeah, it was quite clearly a big event for Japanese cinema at the time. And then the limited edition booklet as well. So yeah, overall a really excellent release. Looks great with that 4K restoration, but the film itself is genuinely excellent. Even if the 4K restoration has some issues with it, like Rio Lobo does, the film itself wouldn't suffer for it because it's still an excellent film in its own right. So yeah, highly recommend seeing this if you haven't already, especially if you are a fan of Fukasaku. I certainly am, otherwise I wouldn't have watched 17 other films from him so far. And yeah, even though it doesn't match The Fall of Iko Castle quite in that same kind of, oh wow, this is definitely one of my favourites, it still is really quite up there. And to be honest, it could potentially be my second favourite from Fukasaku so far. So yeah, and he's a director that's rarely disappointed, to be honest. I think the lowest rating I've given one of his films is 3 out of 5. And then 3.5 out of 5. But they were more in the sci-fi realm of his directorial efforts. His Yakuza films and his samurai films, yeah, have rarely dipped below 4 out of 5. I don't even think any of them have. So, yeah, highly recommend it, like I said. But if you have seen it already, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But nonetheless, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.